Every internal order placed by Maintenance Crew Chief Rick Britton generates an alert for the base's procurement specialist Trevor Phillips. Trevor is located in the receiving warehouse across the base. Utilizing the same system, but doing so from a different form factor, for example a tablet, Trevor is available to handle procurement requests with speed, accuracy, and ease. In real time, Trevor receives an activity alert on his dashboard. By tapping on the alert, Trevor sees that a side stick controller is being requested by Rick Britton for a maintenance task in Bay A of Hangar 1. Upon procurement of a part, you want to ensure you have the best chance of preventing a counterfeit or identifying a non-conformance. Our vision for ePedigree is that of a score. An item's ePedigree score is an anti-counterfeiting measure that encompasses a digital record of that part's trusted supplier, history of conformance, and traceability. It loosely resembles a person's complete medical history. ePedigree is a culmination of nested electronic records. It begins with the birth of an object, the initial ePedigree, which contains the item's serial number, product information, and item information. From then on, it details the sender and receiver information, a transaction identifier, for example a shipping number, and a signature for every change in ownership as the item moves through the supply chain. The concept of ePedigree as a score has yet to be adopted as an industry standard. Currently, we make a valiant effort to develop our application in line with existing standards, for example AS5553, and stay abreast of up-and-coming concepts. Our algorithm for quantifying ePedigree is based upon measuring common aspects of supplier risk and item integrity. Rest assured, as standards mature, so will our algorithm and our application. The application has queried the global parts warehouse and provided our procurement specialist with the top 4 procurement options. Each part is considered for trusted suppliers, history of compliance, traceability, and ePedigree. While looking at the history of compliance, we can query the qualified parts list as well as multiple back-end industry data sources to see if this part has ever been flagged for any counterfeit incidents in the past. Second, we examine the traceability or global footprint of the part. Aspects such as where it has traveled, when and for how long was it used in service, and whether or not it has ever been repaired are all important questions that help to define ePedigree. For our third option, we can see that the global footprint has some gaps in the record. Here, we are told that a history record is missing from the part's ePedigree. Again, we see that another history record is missing from the part's ePedigree. The ePedigree contains only 2 entries and matches the traceability gap seen above. With only 50% of the record available in the system, this part receives a rather low ePedigree score. For our last option, it appears as though the actual route is varying from the planned route. There is a discrepancy in the location history of the part. Rather than traveling through Ireland, the part was inspected at Morón Air Base in Morón, Spain. If unresolved, this single discrepancy could render this part as non-conformant. As you can see, the trusted supplier has a strong history of over 10,000 shipments in the past 2 years, and it only has one minor incident against them. A certificate was misplaced. This part is clearly in the middle of its life cycle, and it has 5 recorded destinations. By scrolling down the list of ePedigree records, we can see the entire history of this part has been meticulously recorded into the system. Beginning with a shipment from the original equipment manufacturer, the part was brought directly into our system, where it has been tracked closely its entire life. Since all of these factors align, we will select this part as a replacement. We are shown estimated shipping rates from major carriers, so we'll select the part with the highest ePedigree and ship it via trusted carrier. Because our application integrates with major carriers, we can obtain visibility into the global footprint of that specific part as it transitions from its current location into our receiving warehouse. Residing on touchscreens and tablets, the part procurement screen shows the current status of all parts throughout the procurement process. Here, Rick sees a side stick controller, and the associated bolts are already in transit. Now, Rick sees a second side stick controller, the one he just ordered from the repair bay A, displayed in real time as in transit. From an architectural perspective, we begin by pulling information from our warehouse management system. In order to create the ePedigree score, the application can integrate with a myriad of systems to generate an ePedigree value. The manufacturing execution system provides service history. The trusted supplier information comes from the qualified supplier list. The traceability data comes from integration with common carrier systems, and GuideUp and ERAI house the global compliance history of parts and serve as excellent sources of parts intelligence. Finally, we revisit common carrier systems to obtain up-to-the-minute shipping logistics and pricing information. That's all for now. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'd like to invite you to round out your education by viewing the remaining videos in this series. On behalf of Fujitsu Global Defense, we'd like to thank you for your time and have a nice day.